Good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson, with just an amazing report. Look, people, this is going to tick you off. I'm serious. I'm fair warning up front. This is wild. So I'm going to show you from Boston to Maryland to Chicago just how bad this immigrant crisis is, just how carried away our government that hates us is right now. It's absolutely unbelievable. And this is on the heels of what we just learned the other day in New York, which I shared in one of my streams or videos, which is Mayor Adams signing a $58 million contract to give away debit cards to illegal aliens. And then they have the gall to tell you they're saving money by doing it. It's absolutely obscene. These sanctuary cities, these sanctuary states, this whole, oh, come here, you're an illegal immigrant, but really you're a refugee, not due to political persecution, but just due to you want something a little better, so we'll take you in here in the U.S. when we can't even take care of our own veterans. This is going to tick you off. Watch this first.
The hotels are collecting money from the state for 3 meals a day, $16 for breakfast, $17 for lunch, and $31 for dinner. That means $64 a day per person.
Now, how many of you, as American citizens, have $64 a day to spend on catered food? It's like my good friend Brian, who alerted me to this story, said on X or Twitter, yes, CanCon Actual, illegal immigrants in Boston eat better than most American citizens. A 6-month, no-bid contract for $10 million went to Spinelli's Ravioli in East Boston to feed illegals. 16 for breakfast, 17 for lunch, 31 for dinner. What kind of gourmet fancy-ass ravioli is that? A 4-pack of Chef Boyardee is $4.28. As you can see right here, $4.28. You can get 4, and that's what a lot of Americans are eating. They're struggling to make it. Many of my listeners tell me constantly they are struggling to make ends meet each month with this ridiculous inflation that the Biden regime has caused. And now they're giving illegals this kind of treatment. They don't even have to do their dishes. They're given free housing, all of this. This should really tick you off.
The state's right to shelter law requires it provide families with refrigeration and basic cooking facilities. But some of the accommodations do not have those appliances, leaving the state to contract out for food and delivery. Citing the emergency nature of the crisis, the state gave Spinelli Ravioli Manufacturing Company in East Boston a $10 million 6-month no-bid contract to provide meals and delivery.
What? Right to shelter laws. Right to shelter. You've got a right to shelter. Do Americans have a right to shelter? Are you going to ensure that all Americans get a refrigerator in this? What about our veterans, our homeless veterans on the streets? This is BS. They fought for us. They sacrificed. Many of them, went to, saw their friends give the ultimate sacrifice, giving up their lives for this country. They came back, many of them wounded, many of them with PTSD, and then they can't get the same stuff that we're giving to these people on a no-bid contract nonetheless. But wait till you see this next story out of Maryland, which is absolutely nuts. I'm telling you, with stories like these, with policies like this, we might even see Maryland and states like Massachusetts turn red.
If that's a landmark that people may know, crossing the road, going onto the opposite side of traffic now.
Oh boy, this is
trying to get out of the way. This is a problem.
So this is what we saw earlier. They were just sort of letting this driver have it, go at it. But this is where they're probably, look at this here.
Hit another car.
Yeah, they're going to have to bring this to a stop a lot sooner as you look at this driver get
wow,
more
hitting
aggressive.
Another car, 3 more cars, 4 cars, 5 cars.
This reminds me of Minneapolis, where they don't even pursue carjackers anymore. Did you hear what the guy said in that? They were just going to let him go. They're just going to kind of let this kind of play out. And in the meantime, he's hitting 5 cars. But apparently this is an illegal alien from Nicaragua. He stole a Maryland State Highway Administration tow truck. He's leading the police on a high-speed chase on Friday. ICE lodged a detainer request on him with the Montgomery County Detention Center. Thanks, Biden. I'm telling you, these are the type of policies that are going to turn these blue states red.
Doing another maneuver to go back on to 29. Oh, it looks like he stopped at this
so
tree.
I don't know if he's stuck or stopped. Nope, he's trying to back out of there. Again, so this all started with a report of a stolen truck, right, Adam? This is how okay, so we have officers approaching right now.
They appear to be opening the door. Are they pulling him out of the car?
Looks like they're going to try to pull him out of the car. We
Guns
saw it
drawn.
moving just a bit. Those guns are drawn. I'm not sure if we're going to cut away.
It looks like they're trying to break the back window.
They're trying to get in somehow because, as you saw a minute ago, this is truly a threat right here when you have a driver just maneuvering the streets like this with a lot of traffic out on the roads in such a busy part of town as well. Again, you have the K-9 dogs on scene as well. A lot of those officers from Maryland State Police. You had Prince George's County Police a little earlier on the scene. A number of jurisdictions working to bring the...
This is nuts. Our border is so porous, we don't know who's coming in. We don't know what kind of criminal element, and obviously people who have never learned how to drive properly. Instead, they just bash cars out of the way. I'm not saying every single illegal alien who comes here is like this, but we have no real vetting process. We're allowing these people, the border is so porous, they don't even have to come through checkpoints. Build the wall. Build the wall. Say it with me. Build the wall. This is ridiculous. Trump, and then Biden says he needs new laws. Trump did remain in Mexico. He did all of these things that he revoked catch and release. And we had a much more secure border under President Trump. Everybody knows that. Joe Biden's a liar in chief. That's what he is. And then we've got this out of the National Review. We asked for it. Chicago Democrats blame progressive leaders' sanctuary city policies for migrant crisis. At least the blame is falling in the right place. As a victim services advocate in Chicago, Zerlina Smith Members struggles every day to obtain scarce resources and shelter space for victims of violence in the city. That's right. So think about that. The very violent crime that they have allowed to run rampant in Chicago, who people need shelter from. I'm imagining that they're talking about maybe like the battered women and these types of things. They can't even find shelter because the resources are so scarce. But as soon as we get a bunch of illegals, hey, we got a right to shelter, baby. As a black mother and activist on Chicago's West Side, she can't help but notice the poor performing schools, the bad health outcomes, the food deserts, the homelessness, the high taxes, the gangs, and the illegal guns that plague her community. It's a lot. It's overwhelming, Smith Members said of the challenges. This is why Smith Members, an independent Democrat, is frustrated by the response of her party's far-left leaders to the influx of immigrants who have flooded the city over the last year and a half. In a desire to be welcoming, the state under Governor J.B. Pritzker has directed $640 million. Let me repeat that. $640 million towards sheltering, feeding, and caring for the migrants. While the city of Chicago under Mayor Brandon Johnson has paid out at least $138 million, according to media reports. People, that is a combined of $778 million. The Smith members, to Smith members, that is money that should have been spent to benefit needy Chicagoans. Instead, she said, we have people who have come here illegally and they've jumped the line. That's right. They've jumped the line not only in front of all the legal people, the people who came here legally and are trying to apply for immigration and go through the naturalization process. They jumped the line on them, and now they're jumping the line on our very citizens for basic needs. This is nuts. Smith Members, a leader of the Chicago Cook County Coalition for Human Migration Management, is among the growing chorus of Chicago residents, neighborhood activists who are calling foul the city's and state's handling of the ongoing migration crisis. Okay? Many of them left-wingers and Democrats, people who voted for Mayor Brandon Johnson. Business leaders have complained about soaring cases of shoplifting, as well as the deteriorating conditions outside some shelters that are driving their customers away. The migrant crisis has also exposed sharp divides in Chicago's Democratic base, with the progressive response to the crisis infuriating the more traditional Democratic groups. Black Democrats, such as Smith Members, have been some of the most vocal critics. The immigration crisis is going to flip the state of Illinois purple, Smith Members said. I hope they finally figure it out, because the Democrat Party of today is not the Democrat Party of 20 years ago. I used to complain about Bill Clinton because he was the poll checking president. I would love to see Democrats who actually check the polls and were actually concerned about their constituents. But at this point, they seem to not care. And I wonder why that is. Because apparently we have the most secure elections on the face of God's green earth, according to Chris Krebs. Hey, folks, go check out MyPillow. Free shipping until Sunday. That's it. It's over on Sunday. Go to mypillow.com. Use promo code Lumberjack for a big savings. Get yourself some Giza sheets, some towels, some of those dog beds. My dogs, I got a MyPillow dog bed. They both sleep on it. There's another dog bed here. They just like the MyPillow bed. So anyways, thanks so much for listening. Remember, subscribe if you're new to this channel. And we'll see you on the next episode. Peace out.